going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools. They're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Calista Love here, spilling all the tea on the latest in internet culture and news. I hope you're having a fabulous day. But today we're diving into something really serious. The chaos in Minnesota and Governor Tim Walz's response to federal immigration enforcement. This isn't fun gossip. It's about clear hypocrisy, misleading statements, and actions crossing into dangerous territory. Let's get into it. It's January 2026, and Minneapolis is in turmoil. The Trump administration's Operation Metro Surge, launched in December 2025, sent thousands of DHS ICE and FBI agents to target criminal non-citizens in the Twin Cities. Over 200 arrests of people with serious records like gang ties and violent crimes. This is enforcing laws that have existed for decades. Straightforward law enforcement. But local leaders and some protesters have turned it into absolute mayhem. On January 14th, Governor Tim Walz gave a statewide address that's going viral. He called the operation an occupation, described door-to-door raids and random detentions, referenced the tragic shooting of U.S. citizen Renee Nicole Good by an ICE agent, and urged peaceful protests while encouraging people to film agents for future accountability. He frames federal officers as invaders brutalizing Minnesota. Here's the glaring hypocrisy. While Walz preaches peace, the streets show anarchy. Independent journalist Nick Sortor shared raw footage of crowds smashing windows on unmarked ICE and FBI vehicles, slashing tires, rummaging through trunks, scattering arrest warrants and agent IDs in the snow, stealing ammunition, and breaking into weapon lockers to take rifles. Wow. Even worse, protesters are doxing agents, live streaming and blasting personal info online. These officers are simply doing their jobs under long-standing immigration laws. Now their families could be in danger. That's not peaceful protest. That's intimidation and doxing. And yes, it's edging into terrorist tactics. Walz calls it a campaign of organized brutality, but DHS emphasizes targeted enforcement against criminals with deportation orders, not random sweeps. The Good case is heartbreaking, but Renee Nicole Good put herself, and unfairly, Agent Jonathan Ross in that situation. And there was another shooting after an alleged ambush. These are tragic, complex incidents, yet Walz presents them as pure federal overreach without the full context. Minnesota, Minneapolis, and St. Paul are suing to halt the operation, labeling it unconstitutional. But what was truly unconstitutional was allowing unvetted third worlders bring disease, crime, and poverty into the beautiful United States of America. Government's main function is to keep its citizenry safe, and the liberal world order has severely failed us. Walz urges calm, but calling it an occupation fuels resistance. Protests draw thousands, and while the media claims they are mostly peaceful, we've seen tear gas, arrests, and now serious property destruction. Trump has threatened the Insurrection Act, and after that footage, you can see why most in their right mind agree. Walz's speech lies by omission. He ignores how his own words might be encouraging the very violence he condemns. These protesters aren't just marching. They're doxing agents, stealing weapons and sensitive documents that could endanger lives. If this targeted state police, Walz's tone would be completely different. I'm all about uncomfortable conversations. That's the point of this channel. Enforcing the law isn't brutality. Destroying government property and doxing public servants? That's not heroism. We need real accountability on every side. Walz should address how his rhetoric is playing out. Federal agents aren't villains, they're doing their jobs. And crossing into criminal acts doesn't help anyone. All to distract from Somali fraud. I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for the love and support that you have shown my channel. We are only a few videos in, and the response so far has been heartwarming. My promise to you is that I will deliver consistent and quality content every single day. All opinions within YouTube guidelines are welcome here. That is the only way we can get to the truth, is by having uncomfortable conversations. This is Calista Love signing off. Stay kind, stay fabulous, and I'll catch you next time. Mwah. Bye-bye.